Welcome to Health News and Views, a podcast dedicated to bringing some clarity to the health disparities in the Black and Brown communities. If you believe there's a connection between food, sickness, and health, then you're in the right place. Let's begin the process of unraveling the truth. And now, your host, Lynn Pete.
Well, greetings and welcome back to another episode of Health News and Views, Food, the Final Frontier. I am your host, Lynn Pete. I could only say, I want to say Happy New Year, but, the end of last year and the first 10 days of this year in the U.S. has Americans and probably even people around the world living through an onslaught of tragedies, trauma that we never experienced before. The human body was never designed for the audible noise that we're experiencing in a fight we didn't even ask for. And that's the theme of this episode, a fight that we didn't even ask for. It's not just stress, it's not just bad news, but it's a relentless psychological and technical warfare by way of our phones, TV, radio, and constant notifications. I don't know about you, but I'm certainly sick of the notifications. Sometimes I don't need to know everything, but our phones buzz, alerts flash. You may even find yourself doom scrolling, as it's called. That means you're searching for evidence to uphold your position and beliefs. And you will find social media pundits and opinions that just never sleep. They're on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And what used to be the nightly news has become what I started calling a little while ago is the Boogeyman Report. Hourly updates of fear and conflict and unrest here in the United States and across the world. Opinions and outrage. And pundits have replaced journalists. You get all this all day long. Confrontations replace context. And sirens have replaced silence. There's no let up. And while we are intellectually able to understand that this is happening, our bodies do not understand. But first, the subject matter provided on this podcast or any of our other published documents is for informational purposes only. Food, the Final Frontier, and our partner, Health News and Views. We do not attempt to treat, diagnose, or cure any disease or condition. Always check with your healthcare provider before making any lifestyle, dietary, or prescription drug changes. Let's get started here. What is this doing to our body? Sometimes we think that it's what we hear only affects our mind. Not so fast. What happens to our mind also affects the body. Have you been a bit edgy, not knowing what will happen next in these crazy times we're living in with so many notifications and alerts and who's doing what? It's been a year plus. People are tired. Focus is fractured. And our anxiety is constant. And if you're like some people, meals are skipped, rushed, or even forgotten. So how does this tie into with the mental stability how does this tie in with your mental stability? You still need fuel even when life is turned upside down. And the human nervous system was designed for short bursts of danger. Run from a threat, recover, return to calm. And that's your sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system at work. But what we're experiencing, this is different. We are being kept in constant state of alert, fight, flight, freeze, brace, hour after hour, day after day. Cortisol levels stay elevated, which also means our weight gain stays elevated. And sleep becomes shallow. Digestion slows down. Appetites disappear, even spiral. We become irritable, yes, my husband, exhausted, numb, or even overwhelmed. And this is not a personal failure. This is your body. It's biology under siege. Food, the Final Frontier, wants you to know that food matters even more in times like these. And when stress is high, the body burns through fuel faster. Skipping meals doesn't make us stronger, it makes us shakier. Cold, rushed, disconnected eating keeps the body on edge. And blood sugar swings, they amplify anxiety and fear. I have some friends who could tell you that too. And this is why now, more than ever, food must become stabilizing, not performative. No, not diets, not discipline, not perfection, but fuel. And fuel for the fight that we didn't even ask for. And this is where we retreat, not in fear, but in wisdom. Some one-pot meals, simple foods, warm foods, foods that stretch, that you can share and soothe the human body. Foods like soup, beans and rice, lentils, stews, chili, grains simmered slowly, vegetables softened, not rushed. These meals do something important. They conserve your energy. They calm the nervous system. They invite people to gather. They remove pressure. And some one pot on the stove says pretty much, yes, there is enough, and you are welcome. Sit down. This is survival food, not because we're preparing for war, but because we're trying to stay human. And sharing is a regulation. Food was never meant to be eaten alone, especially in hard times. Sharing meals with family, friends, neighbors, elders, or someone who's just struggling is one of the most powerful forms of regulation we have. And you don't need to have the right word. Sometimes the most healing sentence is, I made too much. Come eat with me. Connections lower cortisol. Warmth restores safety. Routine builds rhythm. This is not retreating from the world. This is fortifying yourselves to remain in the world. Let's turn down the noise. Many of us had to do something radical lately, like turn off the notifications. I know I had to. I was being inundated all day long by the local news and then the national news, and they wanted to let me know what's going on and all the time. And after a while, once I turned them off or silenced their notifications, can I tell you how liberating that was? To just silence the noise. There is no way possible that the human brain can actually process and catalog everything that we're being hit in the head with. So stepping away from constant update, limiting our exposure to outrage cycles. This is not ignorance, it's just self-preservation. Yeah, I want to know, but I don't need to know all day, all right? There is a difference between being informed and being inundated. And your body needs quiet to recover. Your mind needs to pause, to reset, to recalibrate. Your spirit needs moments without alarms. Our physiology, as I said earlier, stress burns through nutrients even faster. Skip meals intensify fear and irritability. So warm food helps the nervous system settle, and stable blood sugar means steadier emotions. And you deserve to feel steady even when the world isn't. And we didn't ask for this fight. So our response, it doesn't have to look like one. We have strength right now, and it may look like a pot simmering on the stove, a shared meal, a phone that's turned off, a deep breath, and choosing warmth over worry. And if all you do today is eat something nourishing, sit with someone, and let your body rest, that's enough. Because it isn't about winning. It's about enduring with care. Look so strong doesn't always look loud or appear loud. Sometimes it looks like a pot of soup. We are in a fight that we did not ask for, and we will stand vigilant in our own reserve to be kind, to be thoughtful, to be strong, to be resilient, because in the words of Robert Schuller, tough times don't last, but tough people do. Stay tuned for more on this topic and other survival methods as we navigate through these turbulent waters of messages that are inconsistent with the American way of life that we know. Make it a powerful day anyway, and be a blessing to someone, because like I said last year and the year before, sometimes those blessings come back to you and they come back tenfold. Peace.